What is a woman in white? The White Lady, or Woman in White, is a phenomenon that has been spotted all over the world. A female ghost that is usually spotted in deserted areas that have seen some type of tragedy, suicide, murder, and accidental death. She is seen wearing a long white gown or dress. In medieval legend, she could appear night or day in the home or in photos of someone who is about to die. In some myths, the women murder their own children after the betrayal of their spouse and then commit suicide. She may represent loss, unrequited love, or the betrayal of a man in her life, a lover, a husband, in some cases, even her father. The Headless Bride of Yellowstone's Old Faithful Inn. Yellowstone has a bunch of ghosts running around, but one of the most interesting, to me anyway, is that of the Headless Bride at the Old Faithful Inn. This story starts in 1915, New York, with a wealthy owner of a shipping company. He had a rebellious teenage daughter that rejected the arranged marriage to a young man from another well-to-do family. Instead, she wanted to marry an older fellow who had worked in their house as a servant. Her father tried to convince her that the servant was a gold digger, not the loving guy that she thought he was, but there was no convincing her. The young heiress and the old servant were determined to go against her father's wishes, so her father came up with a plan. For a wedding gift, he gave the couple a substantial dowry. The acceptance of the money came with the agreement that the daughter would not receive any more financial support from her family and that she and her husband would have to leave New York forever. The father was hoping that this agreement would make the servant back out of the wedding, knowing that he wouldn't inherit any money or get a job at the family business. It didn't work. The couple agreed to the dowry and went to Yellowstone for their honeymoon, staying at the fairly new Old Faithful Inn at room 127. As it turned out, her father was right about the guy. On the way to Yellowstone, he gambled heavily and he lost just as heavily. They had been married only a month or so when they ran out of money. The couple had some seriously loud arguments. The bride realized that the only choice she had was to call home and ask her father for some more money. He said no. That night, the argument in their room was much louder and much more violent than usual. The husband stormed out of the hotel and slammed the door. This was the last time anyone would see him. The hotel staff gave the new bride some space for a couple days, but they became worried when she never came out of her room. Someone on the hotel staff took a peek inside. The room looked like it had been totally destroyed. The bride was not in the bedroom, so a maid ventured into the bathroom. Her screams brought many of the staff and guests to find the bride's bloody body in a bathtub, missing her head. Ugh. They searched the hotel. Her head was nowhere to be found. A couple of days later, up in the crow's nest where the band played, this horrible odor floated down into the lobby. You guessed it, they found the bride's head. Over the years, many guests have cited an apparition of a woman wearing a flowing white dress, walking down the stairs from the crow's nest with her head nestled under her arm. The assistant manager of the Old Faithful Inn, George Boorman, gave an interview to Deseret News. He told of a winter night at the inn when it was just him and one other staff member at the hotel. George heard running in the hallway and went out of his room to have a look. He saw the ghost on the stairs for a few short seconds. The only person he told about this experience was his coworker. He later stated to his coworker, "I found that in 1915 there had been a murder in the inn," he says, "and it happened in room 127. And what happened in room 127 was that they found a woman murdered in there in a wedding dress. They found her in the bathtub. The bathtub was full of blood and she had been decapitated." In an interview, George admitted to making the whole thing up. He thought the story would make the inn scene more mysterious. He goes on to say that the part about hearing footsteps running in the hallway inside the deserted hotel was true, which gave him the idea for the story. We can no longer go up to the crow's nest due to an earthquake damage in 1959. But people still swear they have themselves seen the Headless Bride. You'll never convince them that this story was all made up. So I hope that you enjoyed that little tale as much as I did. So tonight, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, and pray that you don't get a visit from the lady in white. See you next time.